ball drop. I'm gonna die from the rooftop. I am the last man standing tall. This is a revolution.
Hey guys, and welcome to another free match brought to you on our YouTube channel. My name's Andy Quilden, matchmaker, promoter, etc. of Revolution Pro Wrestling, and this match is one of our most requested matches, and we're putting it up there to coincide with Can Chris Hero Save Wrestling podcast. I believe the answer is yes, he can, as anyone who watches this match will be able to attest to. It's one of the finest matches to happen in the Revolution Pro Wrestling ring, and an example of one of those matches which people didn't know they wanted to see until they saw that match graphic for the first time, when Chris Hero went one-on-one with Tomohiro Ishii at York Hall, Bethnal Green, Battle of the Hard Hitters. It was Global Wars UK, and I believe it was from 2016. And this is one of the unique and wonderful things about RevPro, being able to produce dream matches like that, and we can't wait to do it again very soon when we get back to business. Now, as always, if you like what you see, this is just a tip of the iceberg, so please subscribe to rpwondemand.com and check out official RevPro and New Japan merchandise from shoprevpro.com, and of course you can find out about all upcoming events and all that jazz from revolutionprowrestling.com. But at the very least, please like, subscribe, share, and spread the word about pro wrestling at its best, and enjoy the match.
Please welcome to the ring, the Stone People, Tomohiro Ishii!
Revolution Pro Wrestling is the place where the top talent in the world does battle for the top titles. It's a place where matches that you could only have dreamed of take place. This one has had people talking and talking and talking. The anticipation of the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii, takes on Chris Hero. And the centerpiece of all of this, swirling around all of it,
his opponent,
the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship, surely at the forefront of the minds of both of these men here. Not least for the man who's about to make his way down the aisle now. The man who defeated Marty Scurll at Uprising.
please welcome to the ring, the knockout artist, Chris Hero!
We're both no stranger to big wins in Revolution Pro in the York Hall. Chris Hero with a massive, massive victory over Marty Scurll. What does this mean for that man? What does it mean for Chris Hero in terms of his status as potentially a number one contender for the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship? Who really knows? But listen to the reaction that Chris Hero is getting here from the fans in the York Hall. There's a combination of quiet awe and cries of his name as they stand and look at this giant of a man, this physically such an imposing specimen. And I tell you what, the Stone Pitbull Tomohiro Ishii isn't bad himself. We've got two veterans here about to go head to head. And as I said, Andy, you're the matchmaker here in RevPro. At the centre of all of this, really, surely, is the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship. something that they're thinking of.
Absolutely, it's got to be something that they're thinking of, but something that all the fans here in York Hall, Bethnal Green are thinking of is this is the type of match that we live our entire wrestling lives for. This is a dream match. This is wrestling in 2016. This is going to be pro wrestling at its best, and I say that, Ollie, as I take a big swig of my water bottle, because I've got a feeling that I'm going to be needing my vocal cords in this one, because this is two of the absolute hardest hitters in the world, two of the absolute best wrestlers in the world. But one thing I'd like to say, Ollie, is throughout his whole entrance, the magnitude of this moment, the crowd really creating this electric atmosphere. Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, has not taken his glare off of Chris Hero. And as I look at Ishii staring across the ring right now, Ollie, I've got goosebumps.
And I would say, to look at Chris Hero, he was absolutely emotionless. He was utterly unfazed by the occasion as he made his way down the aisle. He was as cold as ice. These two men are entirely at ease with an enormous occasion.
They're big match performers. Every single time they wrestle, it doesn't matter who against, but they create big match performances. And now, look at the size difference here. This is a real David versus Goliath battle.
It is indeed.
And look at here, that's not wise at all.
Big height difference, not as much of a weight difference.
Oh! It could be over! It could be over right now! Tomohiro Ishii, he hits the canvas in frustration. Tomohiro Ishii could be knocking out the cobwebs, but
it takes more than that to put Ishii down. He's right back up.
Did you hear the impact? And Hero did not budge an inch.
Shoulder to shoulder again no movement from Chris Hero, who shoves Ishii. That time an angle of attack from Chris Hero. As Ishii smashes into the canvas. So an interesting start here.
Well, I'm telling you, Ollie, I didn't even think about this one. When you see Tomohiro Ishii, I know he's small in stature, but you don't think of him as being a small man. And when you see Chris Hero and you see him fly around the ring, you don't think of him as a big man. But look at that size difference and look how this is playing out. Tomohiro Ishii gonna have to be a bit clever here, and he was with a stomp of the foot and perhaps looking for that brainbuster early, but Hero using the weight advantage.
Absolutely, the brainbuster of Tomohiro Ishii, one of his most powerful moves. Quick transition, that was effortless from Hero, effortless. Got him up so fast into that body slam.
And he transitioned very quickly into the cannonball. It's when you can combine moves like that really things start to happen for you. And I was going to say that there's an opening in the contest for Chris Hero, but Chris Hero has had the advantage since the bell sounded, and Tomohiro Ishii is going to have to rethink his game plan. I think from the way Ishii started this match, he thought he was going to outstrike Chris Hero, but one blow from Chris Hero floored Ishii. He needs to be rethinking, he needs to be recuperating, but how can you recuperate when you've got a series of chops from Chris Hero to the chest?
Yes, he's a stone who's gathered no moss at the moment. Tomohiro Ishii might just be starting to roll now and get a bit of momentum, but straight away, look at that, Chris Hero, so quick, stalled the momentum there and sent Ishii out.
And a running forearm strike, and Ishii down to one knee. Ishii really rocking now. Chris Hero starting to feel it. I think Chris Hero's just getting warmed up on it.
Well, the wonderful thing about Chris Hero, yes, a massively hard-hitting wrestler, and we're about to see evidence of it there with that big boot. A massively hard-hitting wrestler, but if you look at the kind of people that Chris Hero has trained under, as he's about to send a massive chop there into the chest of Tomohiro Ishii. When you have the experience that Hero has...
Well, they're coming near us, Ollie. I'm starting to get a bit nervous.
Chris Hero now, firm position here on the walkway, but this could well turn out to work against him here. You're only as strong as your last attack when you're on the walkway here.
Firing back with a series of chops.
Trading backhand chops here. Ishii might be about to get the advantage. Massive boot though. We could feel the full impact of it there. As Chris Hero still has the advantage over the Stone Pitbull. Ishii virtually motionless, Andy.
Absolutely, and that was something. I don't think from my vantage point, I can see Ishii's face. Referee Chris Roberts needs to be checking on Tomohiro Ishii right now. Just look at Chris Hero, almost showboating in the ring. There's really something about Chris Hero, but is he starting to get cocky? Oh, Ishii in trouble now.
Well, the count is on here. As I was trying to say about Chris Hero, when you've been trained by the likes of Les Thatcher, Dory Funk Jr.
Something I need to point out right here. In Japan, Tomohiro Ishii has to the count of 20 to get into the ring. In Revolution Pro Wrestling in England, he has to the count of 10.
I think he's wise to it. I think that's obviously been communicated to him.
Absolutely, and that would have been communicated in the pre-match instruction. The point I'm making is he's not had the time he would have had in Japan to recover from this. And Chris Hero again with a senton. Lateral press.
Only two though.
I like to see.
It's a big difference, isn't it? That 10 versus 20.
Absolutely. And what I like to see with these lateral presses, Chris Hero never hooked the leg. I don't think for 1 second he thought he had done enough to put Tomohiro Ishii away just yet. But what I like to see, I like to gauge the power of the kick out. I like to try and look at the facial expressions after the kick out. And to me, when I'm looking at Tomohiro Ishii, I'm looking at a man who is maybe 1-2 minutes away from being defeated.
Tomohiro Ishii is a man not unaccustomed to very long matches. He's a man who can and frequently does acquire that second wind. So we should look for that and be ready for that to occur. Hero needs to put this away fast. A massive strike, but look at Ishii just shaking his head there.
And this is where Ishii might find a second wind, and this could be a mistake from him. Oh! Straight right hand to the side of the skull, and this time it's Ishii that doesn't budge.
And Hero is wringing his hand out there in pain as Ishii fires back.
He gave him his best, and Ishii on this occasion was not going to be rocked in the slightest. And now, can Tomohiro Ishii hit that brainbuster on Chris Hero? Hero puts on the brakes.
A pivot in the contest here.
A second time, Hero manages to stop Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, and gets out of it. Retaliates with a big chop to the chest.
And again, you just have to look at the lower body weight, don't you, of Chris Hero and how difficult it is to get him up into a brainbuster. In he goes, but Ishii quick with the movement. Massive clothesline in there. Now he might have a better chance. Hero's legs are a bit more loose there. This time up he goes, and down he goes.
He's worked through the whole contest. He's got it, and now can Tomohiro Ishii begin to get a foothold back in this contest?
Gets the grip around the midsection, but no. Hero, which is with desperation fighting out of that, but still manages the back suplex. Leans across into the cover. But
and this time is Chris Hero with the weak kick out. Ishii never really got a good purchase on that cover there. And that enabled Hero to kick out, but barely.
So that's that idea of the marker being laid down. Hero with the right arm draped round the rope there, just preventing the whip from one side to the other. But Ishii's turned it around and he's looking good. Oh,
look at that from Chris Hero!
Massive agility and has the wherewithal to respond too. What's he got now? A big boot, another one as well. Fighting
he's working in combination! Chris Hero looking for a knockout!
Into the cover position here. It's only two though.
But that was 2 3/4, Ollie. Chris Hero, he hit him with combination after combination. They call him the knockout artist for a reason. And right there, Tomohiro Ishii was seconds away from being out of this contest. One more blow, and I think Ishii could be done.
Yes, but he's got to knock through a wall of stone here. Chris Hero, and that's the difficulty, is how do you put away the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. Now Chris Hero looking to lift and down! Huge! Enormous!
Oh my good Lord Almighty! How on earth Chris Hero writhing. Watch his feet as he gets up. They're going to be shaky. Ishii begging him to his feet. Look, Chris Hero. Look, he's on jelly legs. Watch his legs. Look at him.
Well, this is where the advantage happened the last time for Ishii. Looks for the lariat.
Somehow, someway, Hero staying on his feet.
Lariat
this touching back of the skull.
Another lariat. When he gets this lariat combination.
Goodness! Oh!
But Hero.
Ishii all over Hero. And this time he gets him with a lariat. Look at the leg. No.
And the kick out there from Chris Hero. Lariat combinations from Tomohiro Ishii. Finally,
we are witnessing something very special. Tomohiro Ishii, the seated clothesline. Oh, and Hero just so close, able to kick out in the last minute or two. This one has swung in both directions, and now it's firmly in the side of the stone pit ball.
well, he is so accustomed to these long contests. That time the Brainbuster was blocked, goes behind him, rotating around, looking for the Brainbuster, but a very quick reversal there by Tomohiro Ishii, again going back for those big forearms. Turning around into a massive boot. Chris Hero, could this be the one to get it? That was the closest cover of all, I think.
That was the closest cover of all. You said it right, Ollie. But Ishii again defies all human logic. How on earth can one man take those blows and still manage to kick out? The answer is fighting spirit. The answer is heart. The answer is determination. Tomohiro Ishii is here to make a statement.
Down on the match we have a former PWE World Champion and two-time Ring of Honor World Tag Champion and CZW World Heavyweight Champion. In the other corner we have a four-time Never Openweight Champion, and they collide and it's inconclusive, but Hero takes the upper hand.
Oh, Ishii ducks out looking for a German suplex. Hero putting on the brakes.
This is one of
look
his
at this.
most powerful
This is
moves.
not what Ishii wants. Hero puts on the brakes, slows down the pace of the contest, but Ishii's so tenacious. He's clinging on, quite ironically like a pit bull, won't let go, but Hero forces him. Ishii ducks out.
No, that one is going.
Release, German suplex, but somehow Chris Hero on his feet. Watch out!
Going for the lariat, but no, duck under, missing that one. Chris Hero just swatted him away.
He swatted him away. He took one step back and measures him.
Huge forearms, huge boots, left, right and centre, they're coming
Ishii.
in. Impossible to defend, a chop across the chest. Forearm for good measure. Who will get the upper hand as we bring you pro wrestling at its best?
Ishii! One more blow's gonna do it for Hero!
Into the cover, it must be the end. It's inconceivable that Tomohiro Ishii can get up from this, but on the subject of getting up, they're on their feet in the York Hall in Bethel
The
Green.
crowd's on their feet. We're on our feet. This is pro wrestling at the best, at its best. This is two of the best wrestlers on the entire planet duking it out right now.
And we'll just be quiet for a moment and let the fans speak for us. As Chris Hero still has the advantage here. Can he get that decisive blow? He's tried so hard for it. The pile driver worked well the first time. What about the second? But Ishii is up again. This determined effort to get that one
This has
final
to be it, Chris
decisive
Hero.
blow.
He realizes he has to do it in combination. And this time, Chris Hero, he got him, my good Lord Almighty.
Well, it's a hero's welcome from the fans here in the York Hall for that man, the 26-year-old. He's done it. It was the effort of his life, Andy Quilter.
Well, if you didn't want to call Chris Hero the #1 contender for the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship after he defeated the villain Marty Scurll, you really might need to be reconsidering your decision after he defeated the Stone Pitbull. My good Lord, Oliver Bennett.
Here's your winner, Chris
Questions have been raised about the future of the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship picture. But there's no doubt about one thing. There's an easy answer to give. That one was top class. It was an outstanding contest. A hard-hitting, brutal, aggressive, outstanding wrestling match. Tomohiro Ishii gave that one everything and still somehow managed to not win it. Your victor, and making as bold a statement as can be made, is Chris Hero.
This is the limitless Keith Lee, and I would invite you to check my matches out when you decide to bask in the glory of RPWOnDemand.com.